a group of my students working on an audiovisual presentation on water visited Domkedi, a village deep in the interiors about to be submerged with the building of the Narmada Dam. They met the villagers whose lands were about to be submerged and who had been offered neither accommodation nor compensation. They clearly saw how the benefits of the dam would only accrue to the rich and corrupt. They were moved by the villagers ready to die for their cause, and they were inspired enormously by Medha Patkar, the famous crusader for the environment. I believe it is by working on these audiovisuals and documentaries with the streets and villages as their classroom that the greatest learning takes place. The students interact with government bureaucrats, police, lawyers, doctors, slum dwellers, mafia dons, street children, and villagers, as well as people who have devoted their lives to humanitarian issues. It is these experiences that form the backbone of the students' desire to challenge the existing order of things and fight for justice. How did it all begin? In college, I wrote a review of a movie in class and the professor read it out. My joy knew no bounds. I was thrilled. I had found my passion. This is when I was doing my master's in the US. There too, for a paper I wrote on film, I got an A. And the most exciting thing was that the professor asked for a copy of my assignment. Little did I know then that I would be teaching cinema. Later, when I was working with a documentary filmmaker, he suggested that I do the film appreciation course at the Film and Television Institute of India. I guess I knew then that cinema was my passion. I guess I knew then cinema was my passion. That was it. Recently, when I was given the Lifetime uh, Achievement Award, I was really happy to know it was named after Professor Satish Bahadur. He was one of those who had shaped the film appreciation course. A friend's mother invited me to teach at the Social Communications Media Department at Sophia Polytechnic, Mumbai, and I accepted. I kept thinking I would leave and make films, but that never happened. I kept working there, and now it's been over 40 years. Nothing has given me as much joy as teaching. One of the key influences early on was J. Krishnamurti, and here I quote: as long as education does not create an integrated outlook on life, it has very little significance. Of what value is it to be trained as lawyers if we perpetuate litigation? Of what value is knowledge if we continue in our confusion? What significance is technical and industrial capacity if we use it to destroy one another? What is the point of our existence if it leads to utter violence and misery? And so I began to make sure that I included serious humanitarian issues in these lectures. I would ensure that they thought about the environment, environment, communalism, nuclear issues, gender. The media in our country focus on business, politics, sports, or glamour. They rarely look at the underbelly of India, the starving millions, the caste system, the patriarchal society, the number of rapes and child sexual abuse cases. I would also invite eminent speakers like P. Sainath, who wrote Everybody Loves a Good Drought, to lecture the students so that they could be motivated in their pursuit of excellence. I also invited creative thinkers and social activists fighting for change. I was also very influenced by my dance guru, Acharya Parvati Kumar, who taught us about the integration of theory and practice. Along with the theory lectures, I encouraged the students to make audiovisuals and later videos. These were practicals in a format tackling issues such as these. The students, divided into groups, were made to research and write on a social issue they thought was important. The first such was drug addiction. It was made with almost no money, but it was a huge success and screened widely because the research and script was so good. Over the years, we made over 80 synchronized slide sound presentations, 24 video documentaries on environmental issues, hospital waste management, noise pollution, uh, then on women's issues, female, child, domestic violence, health, AIDS, tuberculosis, the problem of the disadvantaged, street children, and child labor. These were screened widely by non-governmental organizations, women's groups at educational institutions, and have triggered policy changes in some cases. Officers of the Bombay Municipal Corporation saw the audiovisual presentation on solid waste management. Within a few months, with pressure from citizens, several matters regarding garbage collection were looked into. The screening of the audiovisual presentation on mangroves initiated a citizens' movement in Andheri and Warsaw, where builders were involved in illegal construction activity. Considering the corporate profit-oriented nature of the media system, one does not really expect that the students would be able to engender any magical radical change. However, there are spaces they can take advantage of, and over the years, many of my students have done so. One of my students wrote a thoroughly researched story on under trial prisoners, which was admitted as a suo motu writ petition. As a result, 30 under trial prisoners who were in prison longer than the maximum sentence for their crime were released from Mumbai prisons. And more than 100 were later released from Maharashtra state prisons. Two other students won the People's Union for Civil Liberties Human Rights Award. One for a coverage of the communal violence in Gujarat in 2002 for Frontline, and the other for a stories in the Asian Age on the appalling conditions in the Atta Road jail. Others have won prestigious national awards like the Ramnath Goenka Award and the Sanskriti Award. Others are in film. Although one of them edits blockbusters, she also made a documentary entitled Nero's Guest that covered the work of P. Sainath in rural Maharashtra. It won an award at the Mumbai International Film Festival. Another made a strongly feminist film called Parched, which won the International Ai Weiwei Award. And recently, Delhi Crime, in which one of my students wrote the dialogues and another was acting, won the Emmy. Another student made a documentary called Jari Mari of the women in the slums in the post-globalization period. Another created Himmat, a group that created self-employment for those widowed during the Gujarat communal riots, violence. Another has made a feminist documentary titled Unlimited Girls, which has been shown on campuses across India. All that is taught in class, for instance, I always make them question why is the protagonist always a male? So that what I teach in class affects their personal lives too. They make conscious decisions to challenge their parents and marry the men of their choice. Several of my students have married outside their caste, some even their communities. They decide to divorce if things do not work out rather than continue to be in abusive marriages. One student has begun taking workshops with the poorest of the poor in rural areas, teaching them to make films. These young kids too create a change. Rohit, a brickyard worker who made a film on building a toilet for his mother, took the film and showed it at the panchayat levels and got toilets built for his community. Chinmay from Odisha, who's a rat picker, showed a film on substance abuse and got Dendrite, which is an adhesive, banned in her community. ZEE5 has taken all the films and will be showcasing them. Several of my students have won national awards for editing. Another has made the film, Have You Seen the Arana, on the environment. It won the Golden Conch Award at the Mumbai International Film Festival. Another is working on saving the coral in the beaches and the Andamans. Others have acted in excellent films. Others head television channels or are well-known news anchors, radio jockeys. Another has started a community radio. Others are teaching in universities in America. But I am proudest of my students who work for NGOs. Today, if so many of my students are making a difference, it's because of the inspiration I drew from my mentor, Father Francis McFarland, who founded the Xavier Institute of Communications. He had encouraged us to undertake a project which we call IC Akshare Melvin. It was the first project of its kind, like the satellite instructional television experiment, but on a much smaller scale. We decided that the media could be put to beneficial use and began an adult education project for lower income groups, police constables' wives, dockyard laborers, mill workers, etc. The project involved a reworking of the existing syllabus, the developing of creative television scripts, training of teachers, production and telecast of programs on Bombay Doordarshan, and an evaluation of the entire project. We were particularly inspired by radical Brazilian educator Paulo Freire's ideas in the pedagogy of the oppressed. He used literacy as a tool for conscientization or creating an awareness among the disadvantaged that would lead to reflection and action for change. He called that praxis. It involved the teaching of keywords that pertain to their daily problems that would lead to a discussion about those problems. We use the word tap to begin a discussion about the inequitable distribution of water. Freire's methodology also stressed the horizontal method of teaching rather than the um, uh, traditional vertical banking concept where the students learn by rote. His methodology has influenced my own teaching significantly. Uh, I like to keep things informal in the classroom. Later, we also visited rural areas in the interiors of Bihar and researched other development projects there as well. It was this observation at close quarters of life in the village and the daily interaction of those living in slums and chawls that made me aware of another world. I know how much my thoughts and ideas changed as a result. And it is this approach that I have used with my students so that theirs too might change. My reward is the work my students do and the letters of appreciation they write. I have received many. This is just one. Dear Jaru, I'm writing to thank you for inspiring me to work in the media. I was asked to do a film on hunger in Vermont in the USA for a local organization called the Vermont Campaign to End Childhood Hunger. I volunteered and started driving around the state, interviewing teachers and state food service workers. The result was a film called Hidden Hunger, which they are currently showing across the state. Last month, they floored me by presenting me with the Humanitarian of the Year award from their organization. The only reason I was able to do anything here was because I used the first lesson you taught us at SCM, to use the media to build awareness and sow the seeds for social change. You taught us not to worry about money, but to try and do good work. I still have a long way to go, Jaru, but thank you for showing me the path. I hope to be doing many more projects that will be true to the lessons you taught us. With love. The message I would like to give to my students and teachers is to move beyond rote learning to independent thinking, from doing whatever the teacher tells you to question everything you are taught, or else we are going to be the puppets of our political masters and propagandists. Thank you.